Welcome to Bubba Rob's Carnivore Journey.
Hello everybody, it's Bubba Rob. How's it going? Gonna give my weekly weight update. I'm a day late and $1 short. Sorry about that, but had lots going on this week. I will be discussing that before I give my weight. It all kind of makes sense. Yeah, kind of what I want to talk about before my weight. I kind of took a good portion of this week off. And it's good reason. I was a little bit burnt out from the whole carnivore thing. Sometimes you need to kick back and relax, but I got a little bit of a story for you. And it's going to include the white coat syndrome, if anybody knows what that is. And it's about getting medical advice that isn't accurate, that causes you stress and anxiety. And basically what happened was, because I got my class 1 license here in Canada, every 5 years I have to go get a physical done for me to keep my license. And I know semi-retired Bob would understand that. I think it's called an AZ license in the States. So anyway, so I had to go get my medical done. And because my doctor had retired, I had to find another one, which I went to go see a doctor that I've never had contact with before. So that's always a little bit odd when, or an odd feeling, because there's a trust issue there and there's always a little bit of anxiety attached to it. Okay. So anyways, I went and got my medical done, and he never met me before, and he didn't realize I was on the carnivore diet and how much weight I'd lost and all these things. So he really put me through the gamut of getting all the blood work done and EKG done and wanting me to go for stool samples, you name it. Everything except the rubber glove and the KY to make sure everything was working right. Yeah, so, and you know, to be honest with you, when I first met him, he was pretty hard on me because I was a big guy. But I felt fairly confident because even though I didn't say anything to him about what I was going through, because I didn't know, I wasn't sure if he was going to be accepting it or not, but you know, I didn't want to lose my license, so I just kind of kept my mouth shut and went for the tests. And you know, so they were checking my cholesterol, liver function, kidney function, did a fasting glucose. There's all sorts of stuff that was being tested. And at the same lab, they did the EKG. So I go in there and I'm getting all the work done. And she says, "Oh, you got to do an EKG." And I knew that was they're checking for my heart and make sure if it was functioning properly, and you know, if you have any blockages or anything like that. So I hop up on the table and she's hooking up these wires, and next thing you know, she's running the test and she's replacing a wire, and then she's running again and kept replacing the wire, and about 3 or 4 times she ran the test. And the tech did something that she should not have done. She told me, "There's something wrong with your test, and I believe you have a blockage, and you may have a heart attack if you overexert yourself." So anyway, so that really quite upset me. And she told me she wasn't supposed to say that to me. So I was pretty wound up, and she let me go home. So I I got to say thank you. I reached out to a couple Carnivore people. One was Nurse Kim, and the other one was JT, and then I was talking to my friend Richie and Heather and Lucia and whatnot, and because I was kind of stressed out, and my dad, and lo and behold, I had to wait a week to get in to see the doctor again to go over the results, and I'm like thinking, oh God, what am I gonna do? So I had a bunch of work I had to do, but I just stopped everything just to make sure. I didn't go to the gym, and because of the stress that it put me under, I started getting gout attacks again. And Jesus, it was painful. I couldn't walk for about 3 days. And one thing I've noticed from having gout for years is when I'm under a lot of stress, that's usually when it affects me. It's just what happens. Why exactly, I don't know, but it does. So I went to go see the doctor last Friday. They had all the test results except for the reading of the EKG from the cardiologist, which I haven't received yet. So I go in there, and the doctor was actually really, and I gotta mention too, Dominique at the doctor's office was just a real sweetheart. I can't say enough how kind she was, because I was hobbling when I walked in there and was kind of bummed out, and I told her what happened, and she was very, 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 very kind. Super sweet. I can't say enough. So anyway, and I hope she doesn't mind me saying her first name. But so I go in and see the doctor, and he's looking at my results, and so I told him, I said, doctor, I said, I thought I'd let you know before you go into my results. I've been doing this diet for the last 6.5 months. He goes, what is it? And I explained it to him. And he asked me, he said, what had happened? I said, well, I'm down 58 pounds. His jaw just about dropped. And then he starts going through all the results. He says, I can't believe your results. I said, what do you mean? He says, your sugar levels are great. You're nowhere near being close to being pre-diabetic. He said, your liver function is great, no fatty liver. Your kidney function is great. My blood pressure was good, my heart rate. The only thing is both my cholesterols were just slightly elevated, just above the mark. And he said that my cholesterol levels were better than his. Everything was great, all except my uric acid levels. And then we talked about what happened at the clinic, and he was quite upset. He said, first of all, he says, she doesn't know what she's talking about. And he says, I'm not even supposed to read them, and I haven't gotten them back yet from the cardiologist. He says there's absolutely no way, in his opinion, that I could have any kind of blockage with my blood pressure and heart rate and all these numbers. Can he say that for sure? I don't know. I can't say, but he had no issues with ensuring that I got to keep my license and signed off for it. So I was quite happy with that. And he helped me with the gout. But unfortunately, with the gout and the stress, I've had to go on colchicine and Indocid for 5 days now. And the one thing that's bad news about those drugs, they are anti-inflammatories, and they cause you to retain water and not train. Now, I didn't cheat. I didn't go off my diet. But I was really worried about weigh-in day. because I thought, oh man, if something's going to go wrong, it's going to be it's going to be this week. And and after having the white coat syndrome all week, because of what the technician said, I just didn't know what to do. And actually the doctor told me, he said, he said, you may have had something, or a heart attack in your sleep, or a mild heart attack you never even knew about years ago. And he says, maybe there is a irregular heartbeat. He says, I don't know. But he says, you're functioning fine. He said, just go ahead. But anyways, the whole stress this week was absolutely brutal. I tried to be as mindful as I could, but it wasn't really the best. Your mind starts to wander, and that's why I talk about the whole thing about the stoicism and that, and having your mind in gear. And if I hadn't done that stuff, or I don't practice that stuff, my behavior probably would have been a lot worse. Actually, I know it would have. I would probably have been a complete stress bag, And plus, I had a truck that broke down. It just wasn't a good week. But anyways, so I was worried about the weigh-in. And, my worry was right. And what I found is, even though I didn't go off with the diet, and I wasn't able to train because of what was said. Sorry about that. My dad came down for a chat. What ended up happening was I actually gained 5 pounds this week. It's just water. I'm sure it's from the drugs. So I went from 314 to 319, and I got a couple more days of the protocol for the gout medication to be over with. But I really didn't like taking it. But I'll tell you something. I'm sure glad I can walk. I know a lot of people out there, and I agree with it, that those meds aren't good for your body, and it's really preferable not to take them. But I tell you, when I had to walk as far as I did from the parking lot to that doctor's office, and driving over there, and the pain I was in, and not having anything more than ibuprofen to deal with it, I tell you, I was glad. I was glad to get what I got. I mean, you better believe it, to say the least. I would highly recommend, if you're in that kind of pain for anything like that, don't suffer too much if that's what's recommended. I mean, I don't know, why do you need to suffer? But anyways, I'm not worried about the weight loss. That's just water. That'll probably take a week or two to come off. Now, that may derail me a little bit for my next goal for Christmas Day, but that's okay. Shit happens. It's life. But I'll be back in the gym tomorrow, starting again, and I'm sure I'll hear from the cardiologist, so everything will be good. But then again, it pays not to worry. It's just not a good thing. But I gotta say, though, one comment about my test results. I'm always a bit of a pessimist, and I've questioned a lot of things. And sometimes I wonder, if things are good, was a thought. But, I was really blown away with my blood markers. I should have had the test done before, but I'm sure at the weight I was at, and the way I was feeling and stuff, I I must have been pre-diabetic, if not type 2 or type 2. I'm pretty sure of it. And to have reversed everything, and now my back pain is just about gone. My knees, I mean, I was looking at both knees and hips being replaced, is what the doctor at Rebalance was telling me. And, you know, getting injections in my knees every 6 months and stuff like that. And, you know, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So I can't tell anybody what to do. I'm not a doctor. Shouldn't tell you if you should do the carnivore diet or not, but I've been doing it with reduction of carbs. You know, I'm just feeling so much better. What can I say? It's changed my attitude, helps with the PTSD, depression. I'm forever thankful, and I'm forever thankful with some of the support I've gotten from others. Okay? So anyways, I'd like you to hit the please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Remember, the most important thing in life, to be a good person, good stoic, good carnivore, good bluesman, good biker, good rainbow warrior, whatever your is. Most important thing is to be kind. Make sure that you respect others, have some honor, be truthful, and hold the door open for people. Okay? Love you all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.